Buhari is dead and buried in a shallow grave in Saudi Arabia.
Okay now.
And that was right there. So what you just watched there are the Okoro people from the southeastern, the Okoro tribe from the southeastern part of Nigeria doing their tribal whatnot, some Okrika, something, something. So that was a little bit of a Okrika, something, something from the Igbotics from the southeastern parts of Nigeria. So that was. And here I am. Good day to you, good to be in your company and all that. Good day to you, good to be in your company. Hope you are having a wonderful day so far. Hope the wonder of the day continues just for being in my company. I'm glad to have you here, and I hope you are glad to be here as well. So a snapshot little afternoon session to react. You know, this thing by Segun Showunmi, it's been sitting within the space for a good 5-6 days now. So this is not hot breaking news, but this is something that happened within the week that necessarily needs a reaction to, because anytime that Segun Showunmi comes out in the public space is always an event. So the event of Segun Showunmi is what we're reacting to now. So he had this interaction with the Southeastern platform, just like I said, about a week or so ago. So now we'll be reacting to it. So we're going to kick it off here. So let me know if you can hear the audio in the comment section, because we've been struggling with audios on the platform for quite a few sessions now. So I'm going to click on play now. Let me know if you can hear the audio. But before we click on play, the protocol, click on like if you haven't already, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We're after 1,000 subscribers in the course of this month, and we're 13 days into this month now, so we need to make post haste now. So we're after 1,000 subscribers in the course of this month. So if you are looking at your screen and it's not saying subscribed in the past tense, then click on the subscribe button to make it subscribed. And then that way you have fulfilled all righteousness. So fulfill all righteousness by clicking on the subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed to the platform. Every single person hearing the sound of my voice, either now in real time or in playback, please make sure you're subscribed. So subscribe and click on the like button as well. So like and subscribe. If you want to come and join me on the screen, there's a hyperlink that says StreamYard. Copy the URL of the stream and post it in your social media spaces. Post it in your all of your WhatsApp groups. Post the links in there. Post it in all of your Facebook groups and every other space that you mooch around on social media. Share the links near and wide. Spread it everywhere. Super chat towards the stream and say hello to me in the comment section as well. Let me know where you're joining us from. Say hello. Say hello, woman. It's XYZ, and I'm joining you from Afghanistan, from Iran, from California, wherever it is that you are. So I can acknowledge your presence and say hello back. So we kick it off now. We click on start and we start to play the thing. Let me know in the comment section immediately if you can hear the audio, because we have struggled with that in the past.
Peter of all people, the patron deity of young people. You know what happens when Peter gets into location? Peter goes into the market turns upside down. Peter goes into the church turns on that. Peter goes into the party, and I literally want to headbutt him because he has no business carrying himself from where he was to go and join these people. The worst that will happen is that we will lose. Listen, you cannot rig an election where you're not popular. Your imagination of popularity on social media does not interpretation of what's happening on the day of the votes. On the day of the votes, everybody shows up. If there's a compromise at the level of adjusting the figures, I guarantee you those adjustments were done in connivance of you and your party agents.
Not INEC.
What can INEC do? Will INEC count the results and then not give you?
They can just write figures. INEC usually do that. Do you think the 2023 election was credible enough?
It's credible enough.
You believe that Tinubu actually won the election?
By every intent and purpose, I'm not in this party. I don't have time for.
You are chieftain.
I'm a chieftain. Let me explain to you.
What you're seeing on the screen, by the way, it's a battle of wills. The man in the Abetiaja, the slant of his cap, actually, it tells you that he's still a playboy, because the slant of a Yoruba cap tells you a lot about where the man is coming from. So the man in the more older man in the Abetiaja in the cap, he's of course a Yoruba man. And then the interviewer, he's not only an Igbo man, he is also a Peter Obi adherent. So you are here having both a clash of cultures, a clash of ideology, and a political clash as well. So the host, the guy in the white top, he's an Igbo man of the Peter Obi's talk political space. And the man that he's interviewing, Segun Showunmi, is a Yoruba man of the PDP stock. So he's not even fully, although he sympathizes with the Tinubu administration, but he's not a card-carrying member of that space. So that is the clash that is taking place.
Okay. Why he won?
Okay, explain.
Peter is always looking for frisbee. When others will say they are not contesting, they will step down for him. And I've always told him, listen, don't worry yourself. You have already done the major thing. You have ignited hope in young people. You have ignited hope in the Igbo nation. Why do you want to throw it away on the altar of all this kneeling down for them? Peter will go into a function and be kneeling.
Can I just disagree with Segun Showunmi there? Because I've disagreed with that opinion for a long time now. Can I disagree with Segun Showunmi that Peter Obi has ignited hope in the young people? He has done no such thing. There are no young people supporting Peter Obi, and the data tells us that. If you look at the results of the last election, Tinubu won 8-point-something million people. Now, if you look at the median age of the Nigerian person, is round about 30 thereabout or under 30. So if you look at the old people and you look at the young people and you look at the ages of the older people and you look at the ages of the younger people, if you do the averaging of that, you get a median age, and the median age of the Nigerian person. Nigeria is a very young country. A lot of people actually even say that the median age of the Nigerian person is around about 23 thereabout. So if we take the median age of the Nigerian person as being around about 23, and the quantum that makes that median age 23 is the population in the north, because the northerners, they marry early, they have a very, very young populace. The southerners, they marry later because for reasons of education and training, they marry more later in life. So what averages the Nigerian age to a median of around about 23 is the northern population, because they are so young in the north. So if you look at the average of the north and you equate it to the average of the south, then you get a median age of around about 23 to 25. So if you look at that median age and then you project it onto the electoral results of the last cycle of elections, with Tinubu getting 8 million of the votes and Peter Obi getting 6 million, then that tells you then that the median age follows Tinubu more than they follow Peter Obi. So Tinubu is actually the champion of the young Nigerians, not Peter Obi. So now there's a proviso. The proviso is that yes, Tinubu commands more young people. More young people voted and followed Tinubu than they do Peter Obi. But the people that follow Peter Obi, they're a lot younger than the people that follow Tinubu, because Tinubu follows a global median age, which gives him the abundance of the Nigerian youth population. But the Peter Obi followership, they're abundantly young. So that's just where the quantum, that's where the chasm is. I hope you can I can't explain it any simpler than that. If you don't understand it, then that's down to your, low IQ and lack of education. But I've explained it just as much as I can. If you don't understand what I've just said, then the burden is on your education and your lack of IQ.
Down like what? You say I'm looking for a president that'll be going around like a mascot? I want him to appear in the place like a man who understands that power must change hand. If not that the Igbos have not done president, I'll be trying to be governor, I'll be running for president. But I feel that how can the Igbos not have produced president? And it will always be us all the time. How many more years shall we wait? Most of the things you people say about Atiku, they are just rumors and misinformation. Propaganda that you have believed. Because a very angry Obasanjo, who likes vengeance more than anything else, said it. Do you know how extremely painful it is in my heart that the ones who rode on Peter Obi's industry, his work and all the while I did to become representative in the National Assembly.
And by the way, because I'm not getting any response in the comment section, I'm working on the assumption that you can hear what Showunmi is saying. So if you cannot hear what Showunmi is saying, then tell me in the comment section. So it's either you're not telling me, then I'll work on the assumption that you can hear the clip clearly.
Do you know how exceedingly painful it is for me that they are not even standing in the labor? But who are you going to blame but Peter? Because he himself did not stand. If Peter was standing, I will be campaigning and work. I'll be trying to be governor under his party. Obasanjo created the basic reason why we have this problem. Look at what he did in his tenure. He was just himself and his vice were fighting almost every day. Those kinds of things have a way of robbing political party of their gravitas.
So are you saying Peter cannot clinch the ADC ticket?
Let's go and clinch it now. Somebody that cannot give shit.
Well, what do you project to see happen in the ADC now?
Now, what do I expect in the ADC? Let me tell you my problem with that party, so you will know. My problem is that, one,
Most people blame leaders while others blame citizens, but very few actually understand how politics, power, and national system really work. Today, I have beside me a public affairs analyst, a national leader, and a strong voice in political communication. And we're going to be discussing today deep truth on power, politics, and national responsibility. Welcome to Salam Educate Podcast, where we discuss on money, power, and the systems that shape your life. I remain your very host, Benzik. And so, first time coming to this channel, like this video, subscribe, and turn on the post notification. So, make welcome my very erudite guest, Chief.
Okay, can we first agree first that the host is an Igbo boy? So the host right there, I mean, physiologically, accentually, and in every other is an Igbo guy. So and is an Obi by extension. If you're an Igbo person, then you're an Obi person. So we already know where he's coming from. He's just one of these Messiah is Peter Obi sort of elements.
Dr. Segun Showunmi.
Nice to be here. Good
So,
morning.
thank you very much for granting me this opportunity.
Cool.
Now, my first question is going to be: many Nigerians complain daily about leadership, politics, and everything wrong with the country. Now, do you think Nigerians are actually ready for the good leadership they are asking for?
That's a very complicated way to ask the question, but I'll put it this way. Nations get the leaders they deserve.
Nations get the leaders they deserve.
Nations get the leaders they deserve. It does not immune the leaders from precarious responsibilities and responsibilities that they are the upbringer of. It's just that once you are in a democracy, you have already been given the opportunity to decide who should lead in a minuscupical small way from your individual responsibility.
Mm.
It includes being interested, first of all, finding a party that you feel comfortable with, joining to participate in the issues of the party, getting yourself ready for the national issues that interest you, looking and listening to people and candidates who potentially represent those things that are big on you, doing whatever you can to vote. And in this environment, stand and ensure that your vote, to the best of your ability, will count. When you have a population that, like we have, with a potential total number of collected PVC at 90 million. 90 million. Let us sink in.
Mm.
And you have to go for an election, and the votes are counted, and the guy that wins gets only about 8 million, 9 million. And the guy that comes second gets just under 7 million. And the guy that comes third gets under just a little bit above 6 million. And the one that got the largest or whatever usually gets around 12 even before now. It tells you that a vast majority of the people that talk about leadership do not vote. Now, when you don't vote for all of the reasons which you may be entitled to because it's a choice thing, who exactly are you expecting to help you install the type of leaders you want? So that's that. The other area is that what are the issues that people talk about in their nation? From what I have observed, and I have observed a lot, there are those who joke about everything. There are those who allow themselves to be manipulated into a constant hate of everything. There are those who get obsessed with the idea of one Messiah. And even the people they want to Messiah about, they never bother to try to listen to what this so-called self-styled, extremely available Messiah say. And there are those who anchor everything on only their tribe. So these are all the things that make me say that those who have said in the past that nations get the leaders they deserve are correct on one hand. The leader is always someone that is born already. Because in our constitution, let's say the presidency, which people like to talk about a lot, the age by which you must attain before you can become president in Nigeria or even be eligible to be voted for 35 years. It therefore means that if you remove the 4 or 8 years circle, depending on whether they do one time or 2 times, that fellow that could potentially be a president would have at least been 31 years or in the worst case, 29 years when a sitting president starts. So a 29-year-old, if he is interested in the issue, should have a position. And if he's a 31-year-old, makes it even more profound. And with our own experience where...
What Segun Showunmi is saying there is quite profound, actually, because it's talking about ideological underpinnings. So now it's saying the bar to entry into the Nigerian presidency is the age 35 and older. I didn't even know that, so that's new information to me. I knew there was a age threshold, but I didn't know it was 35. But it's saying the bar to the to becoming the Nigerian president is 35 years or older. So that's the bar. And then it's saying that somebody that aspires to that position, if it's ambitioning now, then it has to be 31 thereabout to allow for the 4 years of whoever is sitting in that position to carry through at the moment. So he said that as well. But the other thing that one other thing that he said that struck me, this is why I paused actually. He was saying that whoever that young person is, he has to already identify within himself his ideological underpinning. So that's why I paused, because the Nigerian political landscape is not really yet navigating that ideological underpinning to politics. They don't know what ideology means, never mind adopting one. So I don't think that there's a 29-year-old person in Nigerian politics now that understands what ideology means. It just sees politics as a window to public funds, and that is what politics has always meant in Nigeria. So I just posted there to acknowledge that moment.
Only old men supposedly make it to the presidency. It means that any potential president would have been around for more than 50 years.
So, but do you think Nigerians are ready for the good leadership they are?
It's up to them whether they're ready or they're not ready. A nation is not going to be without leaders. So every circle, when you have an opportunity to select or elect leaders, whichever you prefer, the selection and the election will take place with or without your input.
So now the host asking if the guest thinks that Nigerians are ready for good governance, it presupposes that they're not experiencing that at the moment. But that presupposition is very much a partisan thing. So that's why I said the guy is an Igbo person, which then makes him a Peter Obi person. And that's what that question leans towards. So it's saying, are Nigerians ready for good governance? So for Nigerians to be ready for good governance is to suggest that Nigerians are not experiencing good governance now. But there's an argument that suggests that Nigerians are experiencing, under the Tinubu administration, the best governance that they've ever experienced since independence. Just off the back of all of the policy positionings, the projects and the reforms that Tinubu is carrying out. So there's a strong argument to suggest that Nigerians are experiencing the best governance in the history of that country that they have ever experienced.
So you can decide as young people that, oh, your position is we no go agree. all the time. Or you can allow people to manipulate you into an idea that it doesn't count all the time. Or you can allow people to manipulate you to solely all the time. It's okay. It's a choice thing. But know that every circle produces the opportunity for preparation for the next circle. Take where we are now. In 2003, the last election, an outcome was adjudged. Between 2003 today, we're in 2006 now. That's about 3 years. What have you done in those 3 years to prepare for another outcome, another selection, another election? Are you going to be fixated on the anger of the...
I wonder if Segun Showunmi actually watches our streams, because almost verbatim, everything he's saying there is exactly what I have been saying now. Since the last cycle of elections, we have had 3 years, and the obedience space, the ego politics, they are still staying within. Oh, Tinubu's school certificate, who is his father, drug trafficking, something. They are still doing that. That was exactly the politics that they played that embarrassed them, that humiliated them in front of all Nigerians in 2023. But since that election, a lot of things have happened. Tinubu has done nail funds, he has done the Lagos Calabar, Sokoto Badagry, he has done the tax reforms, he has done the fuel subsidy, the money. A lot of things have happened since the last cycle of elections. But the politics of the Southeastern people, the Igbo people, their politics has not taken cognizance of everything that has happened since the last cycle of elections. If you go to any of these Biafra Igbo platforms, listen to their narratives. They will tell you Tinubu has done nothing, even though every single Nigerian knows exactly what Tinubu has done. They will tell you that Tinubu is a drug dealer, which is the politics that they played in 2023. They will tell you that Tinubu has no certificate, which is exactly the politics that they are still playing exactly the same politics that they were playing against Tinubu when he was a candidate outside of power, agitating to come into power. They are playing the politics that does not acknowledge the period of governance of this guy. They are just still doing essentially Nzobu, which is what Soludo won them against all those years ago. But there it is right there. So that's exactly what Segun Showunmi is hinting to you.
Last outing, and for how long, to what cost? So really and truly, if you observe, I have started something called the alternative movement. The alternative movement is not born out of maybe just carelessness. It's born out of a desire to help us reorientate ourselves as to what exactly are we doing. And it was a platform created so that every man or woman sits where he is and asks himself, what do I contribute? What can I contribute? What can we do? How do we make it better?
Now, the problem I'm seeing in all of this is, like you mentioned earlier, you said we have 90 million registered voters, but at the end of the day, you see like 12 million and all.
So where's everybody on election?
Do you think people don't actually come out to vote, or it is that those votes are not counted?
If they came out to vote, the numbers would be more. Never mind that you're saying, oh, they did this or they did that. 80 million people cannot come out to vote, and 8 million will be picking the president. That's the point, really. Even if you're going to say there's some element of you are not sure, they really count, really not count.
No. What we have to look at is the quantum of percentages. So let me tell you how statistics works. So you take a test sample. Let's say you have 1,000 people. You take a test sample of 100 people out of that 1,000 people. So whatever those 100 people do, and that 100 people is a broad section of the people. So you have 1,000 people, and then you take a test sample of 100 people. Out of those 100 people, you have Black, white, Chinese, you have male, female, transgender, you have young, old, in between, you have students, you have workers, you have pensioners, all of them in that 100. So whatever that 100 people tell you will tell you the trend that is likely to be followed by 1,000 people. So if you, I'm speaking to what Showunmi is saying there. If the voter numbers are increased, if more people came out to vote, because sufficient enough people came out to vote to show us a trend, then the likelihood is that the voting patterns will just repeat on a higher scale. So if 8 million people voted for Tinubu and 6 million people voted for Peter Obi, which makes 14 million people, if 40 million people came out to vote, then 30 million will vote for Tinubu still, or maybe 25 million will vote for Tinubu still, and maybe 14 million will vote for Peter Obi, because we have the test sample that shows us the trend. So it's not the quantum of people that voted, it's the pattern of the voting. I know that's a bit complicated. I'm not sure that any of the Igbos will understand that, but I think maybe one or two people will understand what I said.
Your duty starts with showing up. When you have shown up and you have voted for your choice and you have done the minimum requirement of waiting until they count it and they have counted it in front of you and you have taken a snapshot of your polling unit, you have done your duty.
Do you think the 2023 election was credible enough?
By every intent and purpose, unless you've not observed the journey, the elections have gotten more credible over the years. One of the things that you must accept, or maybe if you like, observe or reflect on, is that there used to be a time where people just flock to polling units. There is no scientific verification of who's standing before them. And you can just bring children, bring people without PVC, and just come up with fictitious numbers. But then something was introduced to check that, which is the beavers.
Was the 2023
Which
election
is the
credible
beavers?
enough?
They're listening. Which is the beavers? That meant that you couldn't just come up without being validated. And once you have been validated, politics will be called politics. Don't fall into the trap of those who
What Segun Showunmi is explaining to our brother in the white top there, which he's struggling to understand because he's held hostage by his political biases. What Segun Showunmi is explaining there is that sufficient enough mechanisms have been brought into the Nigerian voting pattern for the votes now to be representative of the people's will. So what do I mean? They've brought in beavers, they've brought in facial recognition, they've brought in transmission of elections and all of these things. So what has these things done? And we're seeing that in the numbers. All of those things have eliminated the elements of ballot snatching, ballot stuffing, intercepting elections, etc., etc. So we're as close as we ever have been in the history of the country to the elections reflecting the will of the people. And because of these are technology mechanisms that were introduced in the last cycle of elections, the result of that election reflects the fairest and fairest elections that we have ever had in the history of Nigeria, because that is what the technology has done. So what that technology facilitated for is for the people to pick their leader. And who the people picked in that sanitized environment is Bola Tinubu, not Peter Obi, not Atiku Abubakar. Obi did not win the election. I don't think anybody that has I don't think any human being thinks Peter Obi won an election, and nobody thinks Atiku won the election. Yeah, Atiku even came second though, but they are telling us. But what is telling you is that we have now the most sanitized environment that we've ever had, and the results that come out of that sanitized environment reflects the will of the people. That's what Segun Showunmi is explaining to you. If you're not too dumb to understand it.
lose election and start screaming they were cheated. If you look at the whole election space of 2023, except for a little bit of rough handling in some location. Every other places too, you saw evidence of infraction. The people who scream the most are the ones who support Peter. If you go and look at the results from the part of the world, it's not a reflection of democracy. It is impossible, practically impossible, for you to say in a state 98% of registered voters voted for one party. It doesn't work like that because all the other parties also produce candidates. Would it have been realistic that their candidates did not even try to vote? So you should know that something sinister has happened there. But if it is allowed to slide,
Sorry, I dropped for a moment. Let all right, hold on. Let me I was clicking on something and I clicked myself out of the stream. Let me bring it back because what Segun Showunmi said is very important. And there's something I want to show you as well. There was a guy that did a PhD on the Nigerian on the 2023 elections, and what he concluded from that PhD is that the most rigged region of the country is actually the southeast. And that's what Segun Showunmi is saying there. If you suspend your ethnic jingle, if you're an Igbo person listening to me, if you suspend your ethnic jingle for a moment and look at the probabilities, take your logical mind, put your logical mind to the fore and suspend your egotic mind for a moment and go to probabilities. What are the probabilities? You had about 4 to 7 strong candidates in that last cycle of elections. You had Tinubu, you had Atiku, you had Omoyele Sowore, you had Prince Adewale Adebayo, you had Dumebi Kachuku, etc. So what are the probabilities that one region will vote 97% for one candidate? If the election was not rigged, what are the probabilities? So there is nobody, there is not a single person, because 97% is as well, makes no difference 100%. What are the probabilities that within a demography, there's not one divergent voice that thinks differently? So what that tells you is a heavily rigged election. And let me see if I still have that. There was a guy that did a dissertation. I had it bookmarked. I was going to do something on it. I think it may well be on my other computer. There was a guy that did a dissertation on the last cycle of elections, and he told us then in that dissertation that the results from the southeast is one of the worst results in the history of African politics, not Nigerian politics. So it was just brutalized. They brutalized the electoral system. How is it humanly possible for 97% of a demography to vote singularly, to be of one single mind, that this is the way and no other way? How is that possible? Statistically, demographically, quantumly, whatever metric here, how is that possible? So that tells you that it's the worst that of anything that's ever happened. The worst election to come out of the Nigeria. The only space that the elections were rigged was in the southeast in 2023.
Screaming they were cheated. If you look at the whole election space of 2023, except for a little bit of rough handling in some location, every other places too, you saw evidence of infraction. The people who scream the most are the ones who support Peter. If you go and look at the results from the part of the world, it's not a reflection of democracy. It is impossible, practically impossible.
Are you listening? It's not it's practical. I mean, forget your egotic tribal, because I know you guys, you cannot escape your tribal mindset. It's baked so deep into your DNA. But if you can allow yourself the window to escape that for a moment and go to the logical part of your mind, if it exists, then think critically. How is it possible for a demography to vote 95% in one direction in an election that presents at least a minimum of 4 very strong options? You had Tinubu, you had Showore, you had Atiku, you had Peter Obi. So how is it possible in a balanced, non-rigged system for 95% of a demography to vote singularly, no matter how tribal they are? And we know that it's not humanly possible to be more tribal than an Igbo person, even as tribal as the Igbos are. How is that demographically possible, logically consistent with norm? It's just impossible now. I have to find that essay that guy wrote. There's a guy that actually did. I was going to do a stream on it. Oh, where is it? I had it. I had this bookmarked. Maybe it's on another laptop. But so that's what Showunmi is saying, that the whole of the southeastern elections in the 2023 cycle was a farce.
For you to say in
A total farce.
The problem I'm seeing in all of this is, like you mentioned earlier, you said we have 90 million registered voters, but at the end of the day, you say like 12 million and all.
So where's everybody on election day?
Do you think people don't actually come out to vote, or it is that those votes are not counted?
If they came out to vote, the numbers would be more. Never mind that you're saying, oh, they did this or they did that. 80 million people cannot come out to vote, and 8 million will be picking the president. That's the point, really. Even if you're going to say there's some element of you are not sure, they really count, really not count, your duty starts with showing up. When you have shown up and you have voted for your choice, and you have done the minimum requirement of waiting until they count it, and they have counted it in front of you, and you have taken a snapshot of your polling unit, you have done your duty.
Do you think the 2023 election was credible enough?
By every intents and purpose, unless you've not observed the journey, the elections have gotten more credible over the years. One of the things that you must accept, or maybe if you like, observe or reflect on, is that there used to be a time where people just flock to polling units. There is no scientific verification of who's standing before them. And you can just bring children, bring people without PVC, and just come up with fictitious numbers. But then something was introduced to check that, which is the beavers.
Was the 2023 election credible enough?
They're listening, which is the beavers. That meant that you couldn't just come up without being validated. And once you have been validated, politics will be called politics. Don't fall into the trap of those who lose election and start screaming they were cheated. If you look at the whole election space of 2023, except for a little bit of rough handling in some location, every other places too, you saw evidence of infraction. The people who scream the most are the ones who support Peter. If you go and look at the results from the part of the world, it's not a reflection of democracy. It is impossible, practically impossible, for you to say in a state 98% of registered voters voted for one party. It doesn't work like that, because all the other parties also produce candidates. Would it have been realistic that their candidates did not even try to vote? So you should know that something sinister has happened there. But if it is allowed to slide, because it did not become victory, and therefore when you don't win, nobody's contesting the rubbish you did. It is only the guy that has won that everybody challenges his own numbers. That does not mean that if you took a microscope and look at the numbers of those who lost, you will not see where they themselves have not been above board.
But like I said,
So
again,
it's credible enough.
it's credible enough.
Once you
So
send it to,
you believe that Tinubu actually won the election?
by every intent and purpose, I'm not in this party. I don't have time for
You are
his
PDP
outcome.
chieftain.
I'm a chieftain.
You are
Let me
aligned
explain
PDP.
to you
Okay.
why he won.
Okay, explain.
If he were the machinery to rig the march, he would not have allowed, Buhari would not have allowed himself to lose in Katsina. And he did lose, and the result was registered loss. If he had the machinery enough, he would, the Nasiru who are now angry, would not have allowed themselves to lose the presidential in Kaduna, and he did lose, and it was registered. Where would you have won? Did Bola lose in Ogun? Did he lost in Lagos? Was it not registered as a loss? Would he have realistically lost in Oyo when the then governor went?
Let's just pause it there for a moment. The people that are saying that the 2023 election was rigged. So Bola Tinubu lost the elections in Lagos. The margin was around about 10,000, but the record shows still as a loss. So Bola Tinubu is the owner of Lagos State. This two-term state governor, and he has not let go of that state since 1999 till date. Tinubu, Lagos State belongs to Bola Tinubu. So now let's draw the equivalency. Can you imagine the circumstances where you will say Tinubu won in Anambra State and Peter Obi lost by 5,000 votes? They would have burnt the whole of Anambra State down. So Tinubu lost in Lagos State. Buhari lost in Katsina State. The sitting president, whose own party lost in Katsina State, I think to Atiku Abubakar. And this were what played out in the 2023 elections. And yet, our Southeastern people will tell you that the election was rigged, that Peter Obi won. If they had declared that Tinubu won 70% of Lagos State, there will be no real strong argument against that, because since 1999, everybody has known that Lagos State belongs to Tinubu. So if they had announced the results to give Tinubu 70-80% of Lagos State, there will be no strong. There might be an argument. There will be no strong argument to counter that, because that is his base. But they declared that Peter Obi won. We know that the obedience were hijacking the INEC server. They were doing all sorts of magic tricks. But they told us that Peter Obi won. And they said, okay, have it if that is what you want. Can you imagine if they said Tinubu won in Anambra State? You know? But the election was not free and fair. They rigged the election, but they did not rig the stronghold of the candidates. They did not rig the stronghold of the party leader Buhari. They did not rig all of these things. They did not rig the stronghold of the spokesperson of the party, which was El Rufai, Kaduna State, because they lost Kaduna State too. They lost all of these states that if they had said they had won, nobody can present a strong argument against it. They did not lose all of those states. But no, look at Rivers State. They changed 3 to 9. They changed, look at it. Can you see the T-Pex? Can you see, this is what they are, this is the thing, no? But forget Anambra State, oh, where he scored 99%, oh, that was free and fair. But look at Rivers State, look at the Rivers State. This is who they are. And this is the same energy they are carrying into 2027.
We're all saying they wanted him in. Could he have lost in the places he won? How did he lose in those?
So
when he
lost,
the
right thing.
when he lost in Abuja, didn't they register it as a loss? It's foolhardy for you to imagine that you and someone are in an election contest and you will get votes and he will get none. Everybody gets some votes. It's not as clean as we would have preferred, but that which could help us adjust that is still down to the responsibility of showing off. Do you really realistically think that 90 million people will show up and maybe 60 million people will have a desire of one outcome and vote for that outcome, and 10 million people will alter it? What would the 70 million be doing? They will be outnumbered. Listen, you cannot rig an election where you're not popular. Your imagination of popularity on social media does not interpret interpretation of what's happening on the day of the votes. On the day of the votes, everybody shows up. If there's a compromise at the level of adjusting the figures, I guarantee you those adjustments were done in connivance of you and your party agents.
Not INEC.
What can INEC do? Will INEC count the results and then not give you
They
your...
can just write figures. INEC usually do that.
Be careful that you're saying what you don't know.
In 2023,
in Nigeria,
we saw what happened.
Listen, you didn't see anything. Where were you?
INEC declared results 4 a.m. in the morning.
You missed the point. Do you know how long it takes to sort out papers? Do you know how many pieces of paper they have to carry? Do you know how long it takes for them to travel physically with the paper to...
I'm not sure how many of you follow elections outside of Nigeria, but I follow the American elections often. And in the dead of night, that's when the majority of the results come out, in the dead of night. So if INEC declared the elections, okay, let's say INEC declared Tinubu the winner at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. So what difference would that have made? Will people, will you have come out on the streets to come and collect some AK-47 bullets so that you can go and meet your ancestors? What exactly would have happened? So you know, it's all this. Sorry, there's something coming through. Let me just pause it. You know, it's all these ridiculous statements. You see, this narrative of INEC declaring the elections at in the middle of the night is no different from the narrative of bullion vans going into Tinubu's house. So they tell you bullion vans went into Tinubu's house. Okay, it went into Tinubu's house. So what next? What's the inference? What are you inviting us to conclude about that? Is Tinubu stealing money? Is that the accusation? What is it? You know, is he using the money to buy votes? Is that what you are? What exactly? What illegality has happened with bullion vans going into Tinubu's? So they will say bullion vans went into Tinubu's house, and then they will leave it hanging heavy as a statement. The bullion van, they went into Tinubu's house. So, okay, the bullion vans, they did go into Tinubu's house. So what are we meant to make out of that? What are we meant to make out of that? That's the question. It's just this meaningless nothing. INEC declared the election results when the election results were sufficient enough for them to make a declaration, and which was in the middle of the night. So what? If they had declared it at 12 p.m. in the afternoon, would they have said something different? Would they have announced a different result from the data that was coming? It's just meaningless, you know, just vacuous, nonsensical, empty-brained nonsense.
Do you know how long it takes for... Do you know how big Nigeria is? Do you know how large the polling areas are? Do you know how far-flung they are? Some of these polling areas are across the sea. People have to go by boat. Listen.
So the presidential election now went.
Do not give yourself the silly idea that just because some guy lost and his anger of, oh, I lost, they rigged me, that does not become the only single narrative. You must make yourself persuadable. We lost. I'm in PDP. We lost. It was very painful, extremely excruciatingly painful for me. But it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. How could my party, who came second, have lost an election they were meant to win? They decided to self-sabotage. Why did they self-sabotage? Because those who got the ticket assumed that the others were useless. If you are running a contest that requires everybody's efforts, and for argument's sake, you win at the primaries, which I may be lost at the primaries, and I then start to see that you're not making any rapprochement towards me, you're not conceding anything, you actually expect me to be clapping for you and helping you to win, and I take a position, I'm not going to support you. Let me tell you what that means. You have already lost some of your natural constituents. And when the result comes in and you don't win, how are you going to now start claiming that they rigged you? Or is it the one with Peter? He couldn't even produce agents in all the polling units. Who was there to protect whatever votes he won?
That was what INEC was meant to do.
It is not
supposed to be relevant when INEC is supposed to do the right thing.
You know, I get the impression that you have made up your mind that you are right and I'm wrong. And if you are right, then be right. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm sharing with you the benefit of experience. Stop insisting that is the only position. Don't ever imagine that a 15 or 16 step becomes invalidated only at the last step. When you want to do election, first of all, people must appear to count pre-election material. If you don't have agents there, you're already losing. People must do accreditation. Your agents are supposed to be there to be sure that the total number accredited are the total number that is going to vote. When they give you ballot paper and you cast it and all that, they are going to sort. When they sort, they're going to give it to your agent. They can't be counting your vote and they got to 100 and they want to enter into the paper and they wrote 10 and you're going to agree. What are your agents doing? What are your supporters doing? If you complain so much, why then did how was it possible for Buhari to win in 2015 on an electoral act that was signed by the PDP? You got to see, I don't know how else to tell you. And through you, tell your friends and your age mates. You need to stop being so pessimistic. All of these things you complain about, they're part of the ecosystem of life. If you run for an election, this thing you call rigging manipulation is part of the modus operandi of the kind of politics we're still playing now. But we can make it better by showing up, by being idealistic. How dare you even think that somebody who was just going to be shouting production to production, talking absolutely nothing, was going to win an election in the midst of sane people? What was the thing he was saying? Except maybe lashing on to the anger and the frustration of all of us. Even in the last 3 years that he has been doing opposition work, have you heard anything sensible from his mother can make you say, oh, I want to employ someone to come and be the manager of my school, my life, my house, and you say it's him? Going from one market to the other and just say, hey, now we give this. That does not
and what Segun Showunmi is saying there is exactly what I've repeated countlessly on this platform. So Peter Obi has not said anything new since the last cycle of elections. So since the last cycle of elections, we've had 3 years of Tinubu governance, good, bad, or ugly. All of them are played out. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything has played out. But the Obi space, Peter Obi, for reasons of not having the mental capacity to understand these things, is not at all acknowledged the period of governance of Tinubu. All he's still doing is still campaigning in 2023. Say, just all this retarded. What has Peter Obi said in the last 3 years that has convinced either somebody that is displeased with Tinubu or somebody that is neutral to join him? What has he said? Look, oh, they have bought presidential jets. Look, oh, they have done renovation on vice president's house. Is that what convinces a neutral person to come and join Obi? You know, so it offers nothing. The opposition space offers nothing. Even though Tinubu may be doing good, some people will suggest that he's doing terribly, but whether he's doing good or terribly, there is nothing that provides us with an alternative choice. Peter Obi is dead and buried. Atiku is retired in Abu Dhabi. Sowore is just a students' union protester, and that is the sum of it. So what alternative do we have to Tinubu? Buying corn at the roadside, buying NEPA, and all this nonsense. Peter, get lost, man. You know, so this is what how many times have I said this? Is Segun Showunmi taking his direction from me? I've told you these things endlessly. Peter Obi is dead and buried. Just forget it.
To do the job. And some of these people have led before. We can bring their rap shit.
Now, I want to ask you, you are PDP chieftain.
Yes, I
Are
am.
you still aligned with PDP or?
Listen, if I wasn't aligned with PDP, I'll move. You're not going to, nobody's going to beat me if I move. I've known the president since 94. Do you know how much courage it takes not to even jump to his party? I'm far more disciplined than your leaders. Your leaders jump every second. They can't even have the discipline to resolve the problem they see. Your leader, the ones you like, was in Abga. Put up his mouth and say, oh, I will never leave, I will never leave. They gave him the platform almost without a contest. He got the ticket, he ruled the way he knew how to. Really do anything superbly fantastic there. You have to compare what he did in Rivers to what Akpabio did in Akwa Ibom, and you will know that the guy is funny. Okay, leave that. He came into the PDP. I was a spokesperson of that campaign, designed and trained him even on public debates. We came second. I went to him one and said, look, dude, we've done very well. You need to push it on. What did he do? He couldn't even wait. We tried to get him to participate in a primaries. So a primaries will give him the microcosm of what the Nigerian people are saying. Do you think you're going to become, you're not trying to be leader of a trader group. There's diversity in this country. There are people in Kanamaramuda, there are people in Gashua, there are people in Abeokuta, there are people all over. For you to be a pan-Nigerian leader, you must be pan-Nigerian in your approach. Nobody's going to do you favors. Okay.
You can accuse Peter Obi of many things. Being pan-Nigerian is not one of them. Peter Obi is in the history since 1960 till this moment that I'm speaking to you now, since independence till date, the Peter Obi is the most ethnically jingoistic candidate that we've ever had. Is Igbo, 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 everywhere he goes. Do you remember when he used to go to Lagos State to go and fight the governor because they are not letting Igbo people build the illegal structures in the state and bastardize the state? You will remember now, how many times has he gone to Lagos State to go and fight Sanwo-Olu because of the Igbo people? And by the way, Soludo demolished part of Innocent Motors headquarters in Anambra State. Peter Obi did not even tweet about that. But let Sanwo-Olu tell an Igbo person not to pour garbage in the gutter. Peter Obi will roll up an entourage to go and fight him. So Peter Obi is the most ethnically jingoistic candidate we've ever had in the history of Nigeria. Igbo, 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 and that is the totality of his campaign.
Here we are now. He's no longer in PDP. Do you know the kind of great excruciating pain I feel that one of the most ideologically stable parties in this country is Labour Party? Why? Because every Labour Party is the same all over the world in terms of its ideological leanings. He's been given their ticket almost for nothing. He ran an election, all of their best efforts. He got about 6 million votes for the first outing. So of all the things he can see to do is dump that platform and be roaming around looking for what is not lost. And yet, young people, instead of you to open your eyes, allow the skill to drop up and say, oh, this guy is really all that. He's here now trying to drag ticket where he's not most likely not going to get it. And then what next? He's going to come back to you and start saying he was rigged there again. Do you think some of us that have been standing in a stable manner, you think we've not suffered disappointment? Do you know what it means to be the man in the arena? It means you fail, you stand up, you fail, you stand up, you fail.
And that is exactly, as Segun Showunmi described, is exactly how it's going to play out. After Peter Obi's trousers has been pulled down at the ADC and it's penetrated anally, once after Atiku Abubakar pulls down Peter Obi's trousers at the ADC and penetrates him anally, he will go back to his talk, the Igbotics, and tell them narrative of how he was rigged in the ADC primaries. That's always the we know his template now. We know his format. We've seen his CV.
You stand up. If you don't build sustainable parties, if every time you want to do an election, you need a new slogan. Imagine you had a child and your child was 7-year-old. In the first time you teach him, Ghana, the Sunshine State, assuming that's their slogan. In 4 years' time, the kid is 11. You teach him, PDP power to the people. In another 4 years, the kid is 15. You come and tell him, nah, Papa, Mama picking. In another 4 years, do you understand what I'm trying to show you? Legacies are not built by people that like sudden flights. Legacies are built by people who improve things.
The scale will never fall from that guy's eyes, no matter how much Segun's Showunmi points out the obvious to him. This is a steeped, marinated, baked and soaked Igbo guy. An Igbo person cannot, they're not capacitated to see beyond tribe. So that's they're constrained and confined within that myopia of just tribal chanting, and that's all it is. Everything that Segun Showunmi is saying to this boy is sufficient enough for him because he's young enough to still be mannerable, but is impinged, is constrained by his ethnicity, which cannot see beyond ethnic jingle. So it's telling you that, look, this is who this guy is now, and I'm telling you that this is who this guy is because these are the things that he has done, but is incapable of seeing that for reasons of being an Igbo boy.
Things where they are and keep improving things and keep improving things and keep improving things. There has to be ideological anchor. And then you guys that are calling yourself young people, you're looking for a messiah that has no messianic or messiah capacity. None. Except for the fact that you hate corruption, which is fine. The person that ever made corruption hatred a major issue in this country was the person that was.
I have to disagree with Segun Showunmi there. The followers of Peter Obi do not hate corruption, because if they hated corruption, they would not be following Peter Obi, unless, of course, they never interrogated who Peter Obi is. Anybody that knows who Peter Obi is, they cannot say that they hate corruption and they follow Peter Obi, because Peter Obi is corruption to the Babangida level.
Muhammadu Buhari, and yet, what happened to him? They gave him the country on the basis of the fact that he hates corruption. What was the result? Long story short, he was sitting down claiming he hates corruption. Another time, they were stealing the country dry. And yet you've seen that. They couldn't fix insecurity. They couldn't fix the economy. Everything was done. And you want us to run on another, I know how to fight corruption. I'll carry my briefcase all by myself. I'll be roaming the street, roaming the market. I'm telling people something as idiotic as saying that you're going to give your telephone number to 200 million people. Does that even make sense to you people? Have you wasted the time? Have your parents wasted the money spent on your education? You're supposed to be critical thinkers. You are the future of tomorrow. You're going to probably be my leader one day. I need to know that you're thinking right. I need to know. But look, if you want to be pampered,
all these jobs,
it's incapable of thinking right. I've already explained it. The average Igbo person, it's beyond their resistance level to think beyond tribe. Yes, there are sufficient enough to invest confidence in Igbo people that transcend the tribal space, but the abundance of that ethnic grouping, they just don't have it. They are not built. Their mind cannot compute a thought beyond tribe. So they just rest within that cocoon and they circle around it.
I'm
not eating jobs. I don't care. Listen.
Now, the key thing I want to ask now is this. PDP, the party itself that you are now, do you think is dead? If it's dead, what killed it, and what needs to happen for the party to come alive again?
Every political party is a microcosm of the country. You don't bring angels to form parties. It's the Nigerian people that come together and form parties. So the attitude you are going to find within the parties is the Nigerian attitude. That Nigerian attitude is what you're seeing at play. That party was registered in 2018. It has survived, 1998, beg your pardon. It has survived for so long with the same slogan of an umbrella, with the same power to the people, with the same recognition. Look at yourself and think. Almost every political party has copied it. Almost every giant that is calling himself a political leader today were people that were groomed from that party. If the party has some issues around people dragging for authority, I'm the leader, you are the leader, that's expected in a democratic institution. A political party is not a garrison. It's not an army headquarters where somebody say, oh, sir, and everybody, no. If I run an election with you as tiny as you are, you will likely challenge me. You will likely, if they cheat you, you will likely go to court because that party is democratic. Every other party, including the ruling APC, have you bothered to ask yourself, how is it that this party, the people don't even contest outcomes? Somebody goes and says he wants to become a governor in their party, haven't been deputy governor, haven't been two-time senator, haven't been secretary of their party, and they have the temerity to tell him he's not qualified to contest, and you don't understand that they're not running democracy, and you come and ask me, why is PDP this? Of course, PDP is like this because they are allowed to ventilate, and they're in court. When they go to court, of course, before everybody will be saying whatever, be shouting in the media and all that, but the court will take a decision. When the court takes a decision, thankfully, the president of the Court of Appeal has consolidated all the appeals, but they took 9 cases there. Imagine if she was bringing the case one after the other. Do you know how long it would take them to run through 9 cases? They've done them a favor. They've given them a lifeline. They've consolidated the cases. They've argued it. Now they're waiting for judgment, and you don't understand that that is democracy?
What's the future of PDP now?
The future of PDP is post the courts. And let me...
The future of PDP is Yemson Wike. So now, yeah, there's the latest court judgment gives the PDP party to Yemson Wike's leanings, and Yemson Wike has now called for primaries for the presidency and the state spaces in May. So what are we now? February, March, April, May. So in about 2 months' time, we'll be having the primaries for the PDP for the presidential candidates, and the primaries will be supervised by Yemson Wike. So who is Yemson Wike? Is Tinubu's right-hand man. So that is to tell you then that Wike will hold the PDP in animated suspension for the next 4 years. They are not going to present anything. They will be on the ballot, but not in any meaningful way. So they'll just do a keepsake sort of whatever, just a space holder something 2027 to give Tinubu a clear run to 2027. And then after the 2027 elections, Wike will now remodel that party. So that's the direction, that's the future of the PDP.
Advise you and advise you good and advise your colleagues. The countries of the world, including South Africa, their parties don't win elections all the time. They win some, they lose some. This PDP that you all are saying, they have been in charge of the country for 16 years. These guys have just been there for maybe about a little over 8+3. We've not done the next election. We don't know whether they win. So if a party has been in presidency for 16 years, why do you think that that party is a party you can push over? Have you ever gone anywhere and shouted PDP and somebody doesn't know the slogan, even in your house? If I were to ask you, what's the slogan of the APC? You don't even know. When they were coming in 2019, they called it change. Then they went every 4 years, their slogan changes. That's fraud. A political party somewhat must build to be recognizable. Do you know how many times their logos change? They change their name every time. They are like a people who, every time they change the container of their very bad wine and serve it to people. And because people are inherently gullible, they imagine they're doing anything. Listen, what are they even doing even as we speak now? Go and ask your parents. Your parents were civil servants who did not even have the opportunity to buy a car, let alone a bicycle. Under the People's Democratic Party, this party you all are talking about like that, we did what is called the monetization policy to create a new middle ground for everybody so that people can scale up. Most of the houses you see now coming up all over the place, that was because of our housing policy. Do you know what it cost us to even create the liberalization of the space for communication? until a lot of you can even have your own blogs, you can have your own thing. That was not allowed before. We wrote it into the law. Do you know what it takes to nurture the country and within strifeful democracy and allow the opposition to grow? Do you know the implication of losing an election, a sitting president, and you're calling the other guy and say, congratulations, we've lost? Do you know how difficult that is? If you don't give us our stripe, good luck to you. Live with what you have. You are like the ones always complaining, life is not going well. Do you know how life was before? It was life abundant under us. They accuse us of corruption and such silly things. Wait until we open their books and review them. Then you will know that these people are the devil calling angels devils. Look at them. They've not even left office. Look at the Attorney General. Look at the kind of resources they are saying he stole. Look at them. Show me one of them that you think you can say, oh, when I grow up, I want my child to be like this. Is money the only thing you guys worship in the country? And even that money, how much of it touches your hand? How much of that money touches your hand? Your parents are poorer. You are poorer. The cost of living is higher. You can't even basically afford the basic. All of the little resources you have given with PDP survive. You better pray that PDP survives. Because I keep telling people, we started out as a party for all Nigerians. And that's why we said power to the people. They started off on two flanks. One of it was the CPC end. Who
all right. I'm going to be leaving you guys in about 5 minutes time. I'm going to go run an errand for about 20 minutes, half an hour. If any of the hosts are there, if you want to come in, come in. If none of the hosts are there, I'll just leave it running until I come back. But in the next 5 minutes or so, I'll be unavailable for about 20 minutes, half an hour. If any of the hosts are listening, come in. If no host is listening, then I'll just leave it running. And then maybe when I come back, if there's nobody here, I'll just shut it down. So we continue to listen to Segun Showunmi trying to talk sense into the empty heads of the Igbotics.
proposed in his mind that the whole basis for them to be in power is this excessive radicalization of Islam. And the other end was the ADAC, who proposed in their mind that the urbanization of everything is common sense. Look at it today. The ones that are in charge are practically giving all the positions to Yoruba people. Are they the only ones that went to school in this country? Do you know what it takes for us to balance power, to make sure that every section of the country is represented? Do you know what it takes for us to say, okay, the first 6 positions in the country must be balanced? Do you know what it takes for us to say that anytime we have a president that is a Muslim, the other one must be a Christian, and when the president is a Christian, the other one must be a Muslim? Do you know what it takes for us to do inclusion? We did not create this country so that you guys will not be united. Do you know what it takes for us to balance it? Do you know what it takes for us to carry the Indian nation together and keep moving them forward? You think it's easy? Go and do it.
So what do you think was the biggest mistake of PDP?
I think the biggest mistake of PDP was Obasanjo not understanding that he's the alter ego of that party, and whatever problem that party had, it was his to fix. When you are the first president of a political party, and you are the first person to be given that opportunity, you were brought out from prison, we gave you everything, we clapped for you, we danced for you, we kumbayat for you, you went all over the world, you built libraries, you built whatever, you got so much, you finished after area. In the first instance, why should you bring out a 6 successor? There were thousands of other people there. Muazu, for instance, and a few other, even the Nasiru, you could have picked. You chose the one that was clearly dying. And then what did you do? You backed him up with an uninterested, colorless person as vice. And before we knew what was happening, the president died. We ran into a tailspin of people trying to protect the one that died. And then we ended up with the Jonathan who said he had no shoes. And then what happened? So what I'm trying to say is that Obasanjo created the basic reason why we have this problem. Look at what he did in his tenure. He was just himself and his vice were fighting almost every day. Those kinds of things have a way of robbing political party of their gravitas. If you don't know history, ask. This country was not envisioned to be a country of tribalism, at least not at the national level. You can be tribal in your area because everybody must protect the directive principles of the politics of their own area. But when it comes to the national play, you have to be pan-Nigerian to the extent that you recognize that everybody must have a place on the table. That's our legacy. And if we have a problem now, hey, the Labour Party in London, now when was the last time they won an election? When was the last time? When was the last time the Conservative won? Elections, the parties are meant to be nurtured to last. These are legacies we are supposed to hand over to you. And you people are supposed to move it to the next level. Do you want to have a name of a new party every day? They came and said Abda. Tomorrow morning they said PDP. Even the article himself today, AC. Next week, ACN. The next day, PDP. What kind of nonsense is this? You need to dirty your hand doing the hard work. A leader doesn't run away from problems all the time, especially when you have been favored. To whom much is given, much is expected. Those of us who are standing, you think we don't have a choice? You think, do I look like kind of person who can jump ship? Do you know what it takes not to even want to do it? Do I not see where the advantage is?
So you can never do it?
I don't know yet. If we come out of the court of appeal and we look at the attitude of people and it becomes clear to us that, okay, these people are not going to go anywhere soon. What am I supposed to do? Spend the rest of my life only advocating for them to get some common sense into their head and get back to the table?
So who would you likely jump to? APC.
The one that I really desire to jump into is actually the Labour Party, but they are hurting me so badly because I can't understand why an ideologically grounded party like Labour Party will also be having this kind of problem. Listen, every Labour Party, the one in Nigeria, the one in England, the one in Brazil, the one in China, every Labour Party is built around the working class. And the working class, their issues are very clear. They are always welfare issues. Okay, we have a Labour Party now. All thanks to Peter, he couldn't even wait to manage just a few boys. Suddenly now the same Labour Party is looking like it's going to not have that energy. Okay, should I put in 27, 28 years in PDP, advocating, begging, speaking, propelling them, and then after that again, I still go and start another round of solving problems? No, it don't make sense. So I will see. And don't forget, I'm from the Southwest. I believe absolutely in the principle of power rotation along the axis of the pendulum. When it goes to the north, it can do the 8 years there. But when it down comes to the south, we must do that. You know why? Because if you guys don't stand for that now, your generation will find it very difficult to be able to get presidency. How? Because while you are trained here,
the fact is, if Atiku becomes the president of Nigeria in 2027, it will be very difficult for that power to ever come back to the South again. Ever. And I'm not saying ever. Because for what Tinubu has done to decimate the Abokis in the course of his this particular administration, if Atiku now becomes president, from what they have seen, that Tinubu wants to completely decimate their power base, they will never let power. They don't like the Igbos, so they will never give power to the Igbos anyway. The only concessions that the Northerners will make to the South is to have a Yoruba president. They will never, the Northerners, the northern part of Nigeria would never ever agree to an Igbo president. Forget Peter Obi and, oh, there's a guy in Kaduna that like Peter Obi. There's some group of young people in Gombe. Forget all that. The Northerners will never agree to an Igbo president. The only concession they will have to the South is a Yoruba president. But from what the Tinubu has done to decimate their power structures, or even in the course of these last 3 years, if Atiku becomes the president in 2027, until that country balkanizes and breaks up, you will never smell it again.
Have kids that you can manage, maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 3. They are trained there by their own culture to do maybe 30. How do you want to compete? The human capital investment that they are doing there is very weak. We are spending a lot of energy to do human capital here. Look at how bashing is so that you can think. And then tomorrow morning you want to do an election. Some guy comes in with 30 children, 36 wives, and you have only your 2 wives and another who are well trained. The kids are doctors, engineers, are doing everything, and then you're going to be carrying people that have bigger bulls in their hand, only groomed for election day. The only way we can manage it is by rotation. So they know when it is their turn, bring us some candidate to pick the best. When it is our turn, we'll give you some candidate to pick the best. Anything short of that, we should destroy the country and break it up, let everybody go and do their thing. Why? Because we're going to be perpetually under pressure. We don't want people coming into our country, if you like, our own area, to be killing people. We don't do religion to that mad level. How are we supposed to manage a country where people are even agreeing that they can be killing their own, and people are trying to help them, they're still criticizing? Listen, You have come for a good interview, and I've tried to give you as honest an interview as possible. But what I want you to do is not just hear me, is to reflect on what I'm saying to you so that you can be a vessel to educate your generation. The language you speak may not be my language. You people like oblay, you like skits, you like to get angry all the time, you like to sit on social media cursing people and abusing everybody, you like to shame your country. When you hear there's a scandal, you're happy. Somebody is rubbing a girl's leg in the plane, you're acting as if girls' legs don't get rubbed even in the bedroom. You are fixated on the irrelevance. They're extremely irrelevant. And the same people, the next day in the morning, they come into the marketplace, you are clapping for them. How dare your generation imagine that they're saying that somebody has stolen so much? They're taking him to EFCC. And you're like, they're saying, we don't go agree. Well, you don't agree what? Did he give you out of the money? Are you going to be slave for them? Are they slave for their children? And yet, you people are supposed to be the next generation of leaders. Young man,
Now,
talk to your people. Talk to your people.
Based on all you said now, I want to ask you this question. This country is dealing with corruption. All
countries are dealing with corruption.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
That's what you assume. There's something called the romanticization of the conversation.
Sir, like you were in PDP for over how many years now? You know how the country was during PDP time.
How was the country?
And what it is now.
Which is better?
Of course, the PDP tenure during the PDP time, absolutely.
Thank you.
Miles apart. So that's what I'm saying now. Now the country has deteriorated. It has gone backward, miles apart. What do you think builds now? Because in this channel, what I majorly do is when I interview many people I interview here are entrepreneurs and thought leaders. And I try to ask them deep questions on responsibility. And many of them tend to talk about the fact that every individual has responsibility to build himself, to become successful, and to do whatever he or she needs to do to succeed, irrespective of the environment. You as a political analyst, I want to ask you, do you think it behoves on an individual or the people to make a country great or to become successful, or that power belongs to the government to ensure that the citizens are doing well?
Let me try to bring you back. You see, government was not created because the people could govern themselves.
Okay.
Government, the whole idea of creating a government, if you go far back in time, was created because we needed a way to make sure that we regulate what we call what we can do. The whole essence of government is actually to take away some of the rights of the people. Okay, we are 10 of us in an environment, there's no government. I build my house, I turn it this way. You build your house, you turn it this way. You build your house, you turn it this way. When they saw that this was chaos, they then started saying, how do we regulate ourselves within our own delimited area? That was what really brought about the concept of government. And therefore, they now, instead of everybody having a gun shooting in the night, let's find a way to bring security under somebody and bring him with enough power or cohesion that is above what a non-state actor can have. Okay, how do we pay for water? How do we ensure the sewage? We now have to create a system of governance that collects some taxes, because money is not conjured from heaven, never mind what they tell you in church. How do we then make sure that that money, we pull it together? How do we make sure that's what government really is? But you see, the whole idea of democratic government, remove the selection process from this father, my son is going to be the successor, then his son is going to be, which is kingship and royalty, and queried, why would he rule over my son just because he was born in the palace when my son that I have also given birth? So we had to figure out, the world, not me, had to figure out a way to normalize that every human being is equal before the heavens and before God. And then gave the power back to the people that, okay, people, on this one day, you are the kings and queens. Therefore, when it is time for this selection, you have to recoil your mind and you have to remember what you asked them. What did they say? What is their view on education? What is their view on religion? What is their view on security? What is their view on so many things? And the one that best looks like what you believe, you will go and vote. You see that your small little finger that you're going to use to touch ink and touch it, that was the day you became king. But you know what happens? You're not even interested. You rather sit on social media and be doing uble, and the whole time is gone. You get angry over everything. You assume that one person is saint, one person is devil. And because of this attitude I saw, I came up with a phrase which I have been shouting and screaming forever. You know what that phrase is? Should I tell you? None is all good, none is all bad. We all are a work in progress. Our duty now is to build consensus around development. For if I come with an idea of development and I don't spread it and I don't canvass it and I don't tell you, even if I got power, it will seem like I am a dictator because you don't even know what we're building. But if we talked about it, if you ask me a question, if you understood it, then when I start implementing it, it will seem like we are doing it together. I know my role and responsibility, but certainly you also must know your role.
The citizens' responsibility or the government's
Everybody is a citizen. There's nothing like government.
There are people that hold the power.
Listen. The man that is president now,
yes,
he is first a citizen. The most powerful seat in the nation, the most powerful authority in the nation, the most powerful title in the nation is the title of citizen. The Constitution even made it so. You cannot be president of Nigeria unless one or both of your parents were born in Nigeria and you're a citizen of this place. Do you know why they put that? Because we don't want to sit there in one place and one clown will just come from another country. He's not part of us. He'll live here. He will just come and take our nation and say he's leading it. And it goes like that all the way. So listen, and I want you to listen good. There is no difference between the citizen and the leaders. The office of a leader is a temporary office in democracy. Because worst case scenario, he'll do 8 years. If he's not even lucky, he'll do 4. If he's not very, very lucky, like what almost happened in the river, he'll get himself impeached. So the fact then remains that you all are over fixated on the man that has the authority without fixating yourself on who gives him that authority, which is you, the voter. So when we have all given somebody authority, we must be disciplined enough, sensible enough, patriotic enough to let him work.
Has it been working?
What do you mean has it been working? So if I now start answering you, will I not now be forced to be canvassing for him? But of course it's been working in some areas. When was the last time you went to the petrol station and you couldn't find fuel?
At the exorbitant price.
The question is, when was the last time you went to a petrol station and you couldn't find fuel? In those years that you said they were not exorbitant, every time you couldn't find petrol, did you not pay exorbitantly in the black market? So which would you choose? The ability to buy it at a reasonable market price, or the intention of every day you go and spend 7-8 hours in the petrol station fighting just to get the little bit to power your I better pass my neighbor.
Okay, so let's come
back.
The
point I'm making in essence is that the glass is always half full. We can have the conversation as to what next, but it is irresponsible to sit down and say that people are sitting there and they've done nothing.
Now, if you look now, the rave of the moment now everybody's talking about is electronic transmission, electronic transmission.
Do they want to know what you're saying?
What do you think? Should that be legislated, or they should leave it open the way INEC?
The question I even ask you is that what does it even mean? What they are saying, what does it mean?
It should be live transmitted.
Once
people vote, it should be electronically transmitted for everybody to be able to see it on INEC.
If they vote, it should be live transmitted. Will they sort the votes?
No, everything can be done at the polling units once it's done, and then they post it on the live portal.
Let me educate you and get you out of this ignorance that has become popular. Let me repeat. Let me calmly educate you and get you out of this ignorance that has become popular. For you to have electronic transmission the way you people envisage it, even though you don't know how to say it, you will first of all need a process where there's zero human interference. Which means that from the minute you do the accreditation to the button you press to the sorting and counting, it goes straight into a zero human interference, stored in a cloud, and you can see the outcome, almost like when you take your money from your electronic app in the bank. You don't need me to bring you a receipt of how much you now have in your account if you took money there. That is electronic. What we practice for now is a combination of electronic and manual. You take your leg manually and go to the polling units. In the case of your bank, you pick up your app. It does not require you going anywhere. When you manually get there, They will check your name in a bimodal verification machine called Beavers, which basically is a tablet that has already been uploaded in your tablet. And when you get there, if you put your hand there, it will sit in your tablet. The tablet will show you. It doesn't need a flyaway kit to go and pull it from anywhere. It's already uploaded. That purpose was done to ensure that the person that owns the PVC is the one voting. When you vote, they give you a piece of paper. You use your hand, not a machine, to put it where you want. Then you fold it with your hand manually. Then you drop it in a basket with your hand manually. Then when the process is completed, they take everything out, they pour it manually. Your agents are not sleeping and they are not blind. They are supposed to be watching it. Then they sort it manually. They'll say, PDP agents stand there, Labour stand there, APC stand there, everybody stand there. They'll be giving them their own papers manually. They will hold it in their hands manually. Then they will start the counting process manually. They will turn the box upside down. There's nothing else in the box manually. Then they will start counting 1, 2 manually. When they are done counting everybody's own, then they will record it on a form called Form EC8A manually. Then after they record it, they will give every agent his own form manually. Your argument is, after they've done that, should they put it on the system and should it fly away? Yes, they should. What has the Senate done? The Senate is not a place where people are not thinking. Never mind that they make a few mistakes here and there and they joke about too much and they don't wear the seriousness of people who are trying to design the future of the people. What they have done is to say, okay, once they finish that manually and they give your agent the result manually and it stays there, they put it back on the machine and they store it. Then they accommodated the possibility there could be no internet, there could be this, there could be that, that afterwards, let us say that the electronic one is valid as well as that paper. You know why? Because if we said only the electronic one is valid, and then we sat down there while we're on the way, some thuggish politician carries the people carrying the PVC, takes the machine, smashes it on the ground, where would you get the evidence of what we've done? That's why the paper is there. So sometimes, this is my point, sometimes don't follow the mob of irritatingly angry people who are not ready to do the right work of campaigning, but want people to come and feed them manna. That law was designed so that our election can be concluded easily. If we wanted to do electronic, full electronic, then what it requires is that we must first of all accept that the whole process must have zero human interference. Just like I used the example of you taking money from me. Can it be done? It can be done. Are we ready? I'm not a INEC. We may not be. Do you know the cost of buying that equipment? You know how many people in the world even does full electronic? We can't design a nation as if Nigeria is the only nation in the world that is doing democracy. All nations do a combination of electronic and manual, the ones who even do electronic. And most nations are doing manual. Let's see, what I see with us in this country is that every time we do an election, the next conversation is the need a new electoral act. They have forgotten that it takes time to even master the requirements and the provisions of the last act. They'll go to the day of the election, then they will see some of the hitches. They'll go again, they want another new act. Then they'll finish and then they want another new act. Let me ask you, have we ever asked ourselves what part of this thing requires the politician, the electorate, the citizens to change? If you voted and nobody touches it, why won't it count? People vote in sports clubs. People vote in the civil organization. People take decisions in church. Your town union, you pick executive. What's the big deal?
So if you observe, you see that there's lots of intimidations in polling units and all of that. The essence where they talk about the fact that needs to be uploaded, that from EC8 needs to be uploaded on INEC server so that everybody can be able to see it.
What happens if somebody manipulates the server from there? Have you never heard of that? Have you never heard of an issue of those who can crack the server?
So no, sir, that cannot be an excuse. It's like saying that
I'm not the one that is telling.
No, but nobody is going to crack server.
Get
like
the impression. You get the impression that
yes,
there is one person here, Segun Showunmi, who does not want us to have election integrity. I do.
But we cannot
this
be
thing
about
this thing will affect a politician. Fans will just cry. I mean, the politician is one who does a lot of the heavy lifting. If I can do an election and I know that the outcome is the outcome, better. But you have to understand, you cannot magically desire what your institutions cannot support.
Sir,
And if they have passed the law, listen,
yes.
if the assembly has passed the law, that goes back to the fact that what kind of people did you people send as your representative? When they were trying to pass it, at the beginning of this republic, this present 10th assembly, almost PDP had members, Labour had members, everybody had members. Why did they jump? What kind of human beings are they that suddenly you get to a place now, they can hardly find one voice. And the only voice, if you like, who wanted to play to the gallery. Oh, we did by vice, but and the one is okay, since you have said that, let's even do it by voice. He withdrew the motion. Listen, that's why I started by saying a nation gets the leaders it deserves. If the people that were there had been taken into consideration the desires of their constituents, have been punished by not doing what their constituents want, the only time you will cheat us is only one election now. You can cheat us, we can genuinely make a mistake and think that you're a good guy, and if you get there, you are not good. Do we have to vote you back? Do you know what we find? Immediately, the guy that did not even do what we wanted comes back and starts giving you guys rights and all of these silly things they give. That's the end of the matter. Don't be deceived. The guy that's sharing money and rice is also getting supporters. Oh, this is a nation where they'll tell you that this guy is a thief, he'll be indicted for thievery and all that, and yet when it comes to the village, they're giving him a chieftaincy title. You can't magically create the best. You have to be that leader you are looking for. So people like you are the ones that have said, no, now we can't continue like this. And then you start somewhere. And then maybe luckily you will meet people like me who have been advocating and advocating and advocating. The difference between me and most of these others that just like to say, solely that nobody sings anywhere anymore, is that I am more pragmatic. I prefer us to have incremental improvement than for us to be imagining that we can collapse everything, pull people into the street, destroy the little we've built, and be imagining that one dunce that doesn't even know what he's talking about can build it.
Are you now saying that that should not be considered? Making sure that from EC80 is snapped and transferred.
They have already given you that right.
Yes, but they made it. They gave it some leeway. They said
I have explained the law. Go to the Senate and go and change the law.
Yeah, but which one do you stand on?
I've explained the law. What they have provided is a good law. It's a good bill. If you tied yourself to just purely the electronic, I've told you what can go wrong. And that would be the kind of things they're thinking. I'm not in the Senate.
We cannot use server hacking to say that for that reason.
Young man, laws are not made to fit you. Laws are made, and that's the law. You know how powerful the legislature is? It's just that we joke too much in this country. That organization you are disrespecting, that's the one that even has the power to appropriate. You say that National Assembly had that. They can sit down in that National Assembly tomorrow, do a bill and say they want to desire to pass a law that changed the name of Nigeria to another name. They will put it out. The requirement says they should do public hearing. When they were doing public hearing for this electoral act, they advertised it. All your church leaders did not show up. I did. I showed up. I made very powerful positions on behalf of all of us. I asked that we should review the whole process from the beginning, put a cost to making it absolutely electronic, find the people that can manufacture it completely, put it there. I even demanded a clause that would say that if people jump from one party, they should be barred from participating until after 4 years, just to slow down cross-carpeting. Where were your people? They were not there. And once something passes through, what they call a public hearing, and it goes into their committee, and they fix it. When they come back to the floor to vote on it, it's a majority carry the day. Where you do advocacy for laws is by thinking up the process before. When they call for public hearing, which is when they open for stakeholders to come and talk on the matter, you bloody show up. Your leaders are playing to the gallery. They don't do the hard lifting. I have been writing laws, even though I've not won an election. I've been writing laws, I've been sponsoring laws, I've been crafting laws, I've been paying for it, I've been going to push it there quietly. Just the last month, the Nigerian Population Commission wrote me a letter of commendation because I practically rewrote the law. That's how the things are done, and I want to teach you that you may know it's too late.
Yeah, so you're saying that it's too late. We cannot be able to
until another round. And all those hobby and code are just like every day. That one that was shouting Chibok girls tomorrow morning, that the one that shouting media girls. They think that they are like. They think we're still in 1960. Yeah. Hold on. They think we're still in 1960. Russia versus America. The world has morphed. The world has morphed. Even China, that was ideologically different from the West, is now very open. You can't have leaders that are not thinking, that are not reasoning, that are not realistic, that are just manipulating the mass of the people. Where you take decision is the same place where you punish them for not doing what you want. If your representative did not stand right, according to you people's belief, you go back home and make sure it doesn't come back. You see, the legislature is actually the king of democracy. Do you know that they have the power to impeach a president? Now, if you have legislators there who don't even stand for nothing, and another round of election comes, and you install legislators that stand for nothing, do you know how extremely painful it is in my heart that the ones who rode on Peter Obi's industry, his work, and all the while I did to become representative in the National Assembly, do you know how exceedingly painful it is for me that they are not even standing in the labor? But who are you going to blame but Peter? Because he himself did not stand. If Peter was standing, I will be campaigning and work. I'll be trying to be governor under his party. Because we can stand. But where do you stand now? Am I supposed to jump with him now to go and sit down with the people that I know he knows that are not serious? The only thing they want is just their ambition, no vision, no great power for anything. They are the same of same. People who did everything bad since 1992 are now coming to tell me that they are the new order. You want me to be happy with Peter? If he had been standing in one place, you would have seen the multitude of people that would have been standing with him. Not because it's the best, but because people can be a little bit hopeful. And there's nothing wrong with hope. We should have hope. If it gets dashed, we can have another hope. We are not going to finish democracy in 2027. After 2027, there will be 2031 and there will be 2035. It's a particular work in progress. And I need you young people to begin to think right.
What I believe is we can be able to make electronic transmission and make it very clear. And make it mandatory. Because South Africa are able to do it. If other
do you know what it is out of Ghana? Tell me what it is out of Ghana. Explain the process.
You can see it from their board directly when the result.
What kind of machine are they using?
Why can't we use the machine?
Okay, very good.
Why can't we use
that's what they should have. Listen, that's what they should have done during the what do you call it, stakeholder meetings. It was advertised. It was if when I got there that day, let me tell you so you will hear. When I got there that day and they were doing their usual, I put the alternative, then they called it because I came under the name of the alternative. Then they said alternative movement, and then I stepped forward. Then the person that was the chairman said, and there's no alternative. I just ignored him and I went straight to do my presentation. Very powerful presentation. It was called, but hey, imagine if all of us who want a new order too, some of us were there. Imagine if Peter was there. Imagine if Atiku was there. Imagine if Rotimi was there. Do you know how much of the gravitas we'll be able to pull? What were they doing? Some of them were busy picking their teeth, claiming they are hungry. After eating until they've almost vomited without consequence. Some of them were going into the market and you tell me now maybe this so jumping up and down as if the market is going to change the law. Some of them were busy either in Morocco or Dubai, just running up and down the place, going to play in Mecca, going to play in Medina, as if after you finish praying, you're not going to solve the problem. Now, what was I doing? I was down there in the field writing the law. Rewrite. You know what it takes to do legislative drafting? Do you know how much you pay a lawyer to draft it? Do you know how much you're searching for? That's the kind of work I do.
Now, let me ask you, what do you project for, or what do you project to see happen in the ADC now?
Now, what do I expect in the ADC? Let me tell you my problem with that party, so you will know. My problem is that, one, it is the same irritating attitude by which they destroyed first the PDP. Because those ones there, Rotimi and Co., they were all PDP people. They carried this irritating attitude. Oh, they are angry. Because they are angry, they have to go to APC. They carried themselves into a platform they know nothing about, helped that platform to win an election, did 8 years as minister. I'm just using them as an example of them are the same. Then after they didn't give him or he didn't win presidency, he started to shout, I'm hungry, all over the place. They have carried that attitude now to the ADC. Or is it Atiku? There is never a time that is not his right to be president. He doesn't even have respect for the fact that the country is very diverse and we don't have one language, we don't speak one culture, and therefore we need to be balancing power. Every minute, he doesn't even know how many younger northern leaders he has wasted the opportunity because he will just bring his big shark capacity and prevent them from being able to get ticket. And now, some of them have even become so old, they've even given up. And he that is older than them, he has not given up. Or is it Peter? The one who swore on top of his death, I will never leave Abuja. If I leave Abuga today, where is he? Or which of them do you want me to say? Nasiru, Infantry, the one who thinks that his whole role in life is to be angry, and that whenever he's angry, he should not be tempted. He was in charge of Kaduna. We could hardly believe that it's possible for people of Southern Kaduna to live in peace. Suddenly, the thing that was disturbing Southern Kaduna no longer disturbs Southern Kaduna only because of Sani, and you think those are not issues? Or because it's just a small little midget, his right is just to be angry every time, play to the gallery. They are writing him a letter since December. The whole of December, he didn't come. The whole of January, he didn't come. He shows up in February. He mobilizes people to the airport. He's doing entitlement when they are asking you to come and give account of your stewardship. And you wonder why the country is not doing well. So when you see a gathering of those kind of people, oh, my heart bleeds. And Peter, of all people, the patron deity of young people, patron deity of the young people. Do you know what happens when Peter gets into location? Peter goes into the market turns upside down. Peter goes into the church, the church turns on that. Peter goes into the party, and I literally want to headbutt him because he has no business carrying himself from where he was to go and join these people. The worst that will happen is that we will lose. I did say about a year ago in a public forum that, oh, the only human being I'm willing to lose election with is Peter. I am willing to lose with him. If loss is our destiny, let's go and lose. But not this way. Do you know what it takes for me not to be standing with my own brother fully? Or am I supposed to not allow Peter to carelessly allow the South to do 4 years because he's not thinking strategically? Why? Tell me who is entitled among them. Is it wrote to me that we gave Jonathan that has no issue to come as president for so many years? Tell me now, is it Atiku that his brother, the foreign man, Buhari, just finished 8 years? And you that we feel that, okay, we can justify it, where are you?
So are you saying Peter cannot clinch the ADC ticket?
Let's go and clinch it now. Somebody that cannot give shishi. You went to go and join the midst of people that every ticket is, you know the money they used to do primaries. You are naive. I was spokesperson of a campaign. I know these things. I was former director general of campaign for Jonathan in Ogun. I won when others lost. I was former DJ of a campaign in Ogun many times over. Peter is always looking for frisbee. When others will say they are not contesting, they will step down for him. And I've always told him, listen, don't worry yourself. You have already done the major thing. You have ignited hope in young people. You have ignited hope in the Igbo nation. Why do you want to throw it away on the altar of all this kneeling down for them? Peter will go into a function and be kneeling down like what? You think I'm looking for a president that will be going around like a mascot? I want him to appear in the place like a man who understands that power must change hand. If not that the Igbos have not done president, I'll be trying to be governor, I'll be running for president. But I feel that how can the Igbos not have produced president? And it will always be us all the time. How many more years shall we wait? When Peter that is supposed to stand, let us say, please, let them do whatever they want to do in their useless party. This is where we are. Let them campaign their campaign, we campaign our campaign. Let them mobilize and mobilize, we mobilize and mobilize. You that don't give shishi, people gave you 6 million votes. What about if you found a little bit more money and just give them to all your structure? Do you know how many votes you will get? People think I don't like Peter. I don't hate Peter. I'm just so disappointed and angry with him. Because he's making us start from the beginning again. And all the energy he was able to gather, he's allowing it to slip away. Why? Because what he knows will not work is what he's trying to delude himself that will work. Does Atiku look like the kind of leader that used to step down? Has Atiku ever congratulated anybody that won an election before in this country?
I'm thinking
or is it to me, Abiji looking like a person that will step down?
They could concede for him.
Truly, you are naive. You should be a pastor. So that your domain will be Jesus Christ's domain. You guys can be doing whatever you want and say whatever you say and marry fine girls and stand and say the Lord said without responsibility. You are naive. When you see somebody that's going to concede, won't you see it in the action? You see Rotimi immediately. They are gamma lizard of where's that place that comes from? Of Ikwere, with his stomach looking like that of a bird. Looks like someone that's going to concede. Do you know how much money he has? Rotimi was governor 8 years. Rotimi as a speaker 8 years. Rotimi was minister 8 years. Rotimi was DG Governors Forum. That kind of fellow who came second in an APC primary where Bola Tinubu came first, and your vice president came a distant third. That is the kind of person that's going to step down for Peter. How now? Is Peter better than him? If Peter calls himself Igbo, his own name too is Chibike now. Or is Chibike not an Igbo name?
I think it's going to be based on who has more popularity with the people. And the
I think you are telling lies. You know the problem? You believe this will be one name, someone will be one name, someone. These people are just a skit loving people. People that cannot even scold these people for killing themselves. I scold our own people. When the robbery was shouting, I scolded them, they fought me, I fought them back. Peter has not been able to scold these people that are killing young people in the world. Soludo has come now to put an end to that nonsense. And you expect people to see that Peter is a better governorship than presidential manager than Soludo. Someone who can look at Rubin and say, no, we have had enough. Do you think Soludo hates them? He doesn't hate them. He's trying to save them. What's Peter doing? I was very on. When I was going to Malaysia, I saw somebody from Singapore. That's the moment.
You guys think he's the most important person now in the Southeast?
The Southeast has a lot of stars. Oh. There's Dave Umai. Let me tell you what you're not seeing about Dave. The mere fact that he's the one in charge of infrastructure and is building and inspecting, means he's going around the whole country. And when you go around the country and you build infrastructure gives you, nobody can deny what you've built. And he's also been a governor. He's won Senate. And he's from Eboy, and Eboy is Southeast. One Igbo is no more than another Igbo in the eyes of we Nigerians. When they get to their Igbo land, they can be saying whatever they like. But as far as Nigerians are concerned, if you are Igbo, you are Igbo. There is the guy in Enugu, Mba. Have you gone there to see the kind of quiet revolution he's doing there? Okay, tell me how you are going to tell politicians that Hope Uzodinma is not a king now. He knows us in PDB was PDB now. His governor is so big in their party. He's a strong man there. Do you know what it will? So Hope, Peter is more qualified to be president than Hope. Okay, what about Soludo? Former CBN, former this change agent, transformational leader of no mean reputation. He has even ended it at home in the Southeast. He's not a leader, right? What about Alex Oti, the small but mighty shark of Aba? Who tells me, I went to him one day, he said, my brother, I am only fixated on just fixing this one Abia. I don't even want anybody to come and start talking to me about Senate. I don't want anybody to talk to me about vice president. I don't want anybody to talk to me about president. Let me just do this Abia. Transform it and go and rest. That is not the type of leaders you are going to be saying Peter is bigger than now. That small children are saying, Papa, oh yo yo, Papa. That does not mean that their father is the wisest man in the town. The ephemeral love of the mass that is not based on any ideological strong opinions cannot win anybody election. Because you know what? When the chips are down, tribes will consider what's in their best interest. Religion will consider what's in their best interest. Business people will consider what's in their best interest. Farmers will consider what's in their best interest. International stakeholders will consider their best interest. I know this. When I went to Malaysia, then when I saw them in Malaysia, you went to Malaysia when you're wearing their cap.
Its integrity is one of the things that has.
There is no integrity there that is not everywhere else. There is no lack of integrity. You want me to give you some of his lack of integrity issues?
Can you list some of them? Because Peter has always said that if anybody can come out with anything,
you know the problem. You know the problem
that he will step down for.
No, go and sit down somewhere.
Yeah, I said it several multiple times.
Go and ask him.
Yes.
When he was governor, that ambulance that was caught with money, cash, that they now eventually said they were going to use it to buy cars for traditional rulers. Even on that alone, is that not the problem? Go and ask him again.
You are alleging.
Please, those are the things that are out there. Don't listen. Do you want me to start? You want to put me into trouble of saying things that cannot be proved? I said, go and ask him. I didn't say he's done it. Go and ask him. how it is even possible for someone not to know that there's something called abuse of office, that government money cannot go into your private business while you are the one presiding over government money.
He said
go and sit down somewhere. Go and ask him, how did the savings of the states, how did
all right. I'm not sure where we are in the conversation. Apologies to everyone. I had to go and do a little bit of a school run. I had to go pick up my boy from school and whatnot. You know, these are the things that we have to do. But Isaac, good to see you, man. Are you back from Nigeria? Are you fully with us, Isaac? I saw you. This is Isaac Ojo, by the way, one of the stalwarts, one of the pillars of this platform. So, Isaac, what's going on?
One man, good evening.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. I'm still in Lagos.
Oh, God. And your connection is so clear. How is that?
Because I have to subscribe the best.
All right. When are you due back? Are you? How long are you there for?
I'll be here till the 6th of April.
Oh, all right. Okay, you are doing something. All right, brilliant. Yeah. I was going to show people. Anyway, I'll show them in a moment. You met with Kene, who is fast losing his hair now. The stress of our supporting Peter Obi is making Kene go bald.
Yeah.
But what is your report though from Lagos? What sense of safety or lack thereof do you feel? What improvement or lack
at the moment, one man, I won't lie to you. I said I was going to update you with the situation. The truth right now is that I was planning on getting across to you the good, the bad, and the ugly. But so far, right now, I think what I have in my record at the moment is just the ugly.
All right, tell us about it. What's up? What's been happening?
Actually, it's been from all indications. You know, before I came in here, I was having that hope that one day Nigeria will be somewhere. But since I came in, from what I've been noticing from our people, then I had that sensation that once the government start doing well, Nigeria will become a better place. I now discover that no matter how hard the government would try, the people, they are the issue. The Nigerians themselves, they are the issue. Nigeria is bad. It's not just the government. The people themselves, they are not even ready for what they are preaching.
Give us examples of what you have experienced that has led you to that thought.
Going to the bank issue. In the bank, it's not organized. They stress you up like leave the bank, the transport system. You can't drive on your own in the street of Lagos. Say you want to bring that your mentality here to drag the road with them, you just die. Let me just put it like that. The transport system, the road system is so haggard that a normal human being actually cannot live amongst them. Someone that is normal cannot live amongst them. All other things, like, I'm not going to be too long because I'm still like, my head is still full. But I believe one of these nights I'll actually settle down. I'm not yet done. I'm still in my journey, Lagos to Asaba. From Asaba, before I go to my base, which you know is Benin. So I believe by the time I get to Benin, my head would have calmed down. I must have done that, and then I'll be able to really settle down and then discuss further.
You've been there for about 3 weeks now, so that's enough time for you to get a real feel And what you're saying is that, you know, the country is still not for civilized human beings to live in. You have to be some sort of animal to be able to live in a place like Lagos. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Like I think you sometimes say if you have not subscribed, we should listen to what do you call him, Portable. I think it's not only those people that are yet to subscribe, but anybody living in Nigeria should listen to Portable. I'm in the zoo. I'm a babu. Right now, I'm a babu. If you can't be a babu, you can't live here. That's the truth.
Yeah,
If you
yes.
cannot be a babu, you can't be here.
I sympathize with that actually, but it's a particularly Lagos. Maybe when you get to Asaba, and then we'll ask your thoughts again. Because it's a
Yeah.
particularly Lagos thing. No, Lagos is not for the faint-hearted. You have to be a really hardened zoo animal to live in. Lagos is a zoo now. It's a no human. No, you cannot live in Lagos and call yourself a human being now. No human being lives in Lagos.
Yeah, Wama, the network is beginning to break. My intention is I'm going to combine my experience in Lagos, my experience in Asaba, and then my experience in Benin. I'm going to combine the three, Lagos, Asaba, Benin. I'm going to combine them, and then I'll get to you.
All right, brilliant. Before you go, in terms of the landscape infrastructurally, are you seeing any noticeable infrastructural development, or is it just fake little whatever it is that they are doing? Are they just gaming us? Are you seeing any significant improvement that you can invest hope in?
No, Wama, no. Apart from those projects you do mention on the platform, Coastal Road. I've not been to those Coastal Road and all that, but generally, when you move out, I don't see any development. I don't see any development at all. That's the truth. Yeah, Coastal Road might be there.
All right, maybe I can hire you a driver. Maybe I'll send my mother's driver to come and pick you up. I want you to go on that coastal road if you can, you know, and give us a feel of what it is actually. Is it as spectacular as they're making it out? If the window opens, so in your busy schedule, you know, if you can't, then that's fine. But if you're able to capture that coastal road and send it in, that would be fantastic. We want somebody to capture it.
No, I already booked my ticket for tomorrow afternoon to Asaba.
Oh, all right. I'm from Asaba. It's back to base, Abi. You just come from Asaba to airport.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I already booked a ticket for tomorrow afternoon to Asaba.
Oh, all right. Oh, all right. Maybe the next person that goes to Lagos, please try and capture that Lagos. We talk about it a lot, but nobody has gone from here to go and document it. So somebody needs to go and document that road for us. If you're hearing me now and you're in Lagos, if you can do a drive through that Lagos Calabar Super Highway, film it and send it to me, just so we can actually see what we're talking about.
Okay, Wama.
But do you feel safe though? What about the sense of safety?
Yeah, in Lagos, I don't see any threat. It's safe, very safe. People move around. Even a lot of people where I went to, a lot of people they move around safe. Even they even move money around, you know. So there's no form of danger.
How late can you stay out? Can you stay out up to 10 p.m. and feel safe?
Lagos here, 2 p.m., 1 p.m. you can be out.
Oh, all right, that's brilliant.
And you feel safe. Yeah, and you feel safe.
But then we want that for the whole country, not just Lagos. That's really
for the information I received now from some of my friends, they said my journey to Asaba, I shouldn't be that bothered, but whenever I want to take my journey Asaba to Benin, I should be a bit bothered because right now Benin is hot.
Is it because of the politics or because of the bandits?
Actually, I don't know. Possibly they are trying to play politics in that region. Or I think they are talking about the bandit, the kidnapping issue that is actually there well established. As at now, the government is Edo State is not doing much about it.
No, you now go elect illiterate to go and govern an important state. Imagine how important Edo State is, and you go and elect an illiterate to go
Yeah,
and.
yeah. We thought maybe the illiterate will do the. We thought maybe the illiterate will be the solution to actually
Oh,
that's what it
oh,
is.
all right. Isaac, stay safe. Oh, make sure you know how important you are to us. Stay safe. Oh, and join us often. We miss you here. So you'll be our Nigerian correspondent. So that's Isaac right there.
Isaac,
Going
I have a
back
question to
home.
ask you.
Right. Go on.
The
Yeah.
gas price, like
Speak,
one of my
speak,
family
speak.
members in Nigeria said the gas price
No,
had
no,
gone
hold
up.
on. Speak slowly. You know that Isaac would not pick it up. Speak a bit slower,
Yeah.
Charles. Yeah.
Isaac, I have family in Nigeria. They said the gas prices went high because of the problem happening in Iran, causing the potato price to go up in Nigeria. Is that true? I just want to confirm.
I know one man will want to interpret it to me.
Yes, he's asking. He said he's got family in Nigeria, and they're telling him that the price of petrol has gone up because of the Iranian situation. So he's asking if that is true.
Yeah, before the Iranian bombing, the price of fuel was 870. Now it's gone up to 1,350. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
That's a
Yeah,
lot actually.
from
That
870 to 1,350. Yeah,
you know
that's good.
that Aboki boy is using that window to cash in. It's never that, even though we expect some marginal increase from 800 to 1,200, that's criminal actually. You know, it's no more than a 15% increment now, which is to take it to around about 900 naira. So that Hausa boy is using the window to milk people.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that the problem we have, even the outside boy you are talking about, it extends to the community itself. You see now, whatever transport you are taking from one corner to the other, they are all inflating their prices. You know, there's no fixed price. Sometimes they just look at the way you are dressed, and then they just give you price. That's all.
But the price.
You now, your skin is too fresh. They know that you are JJC. Even if you try, there's no way you can hide your skin. You know they can even if you don't open your mouth, they can spot. They know say your skin is too fresh now. They know you are from just returned.
Definitely,
Yes.
it's surprising the way they detect that. I don't know. I still see my color as the same, but I don't know how actually they just look at you and they just decide. You know.
It's the skin. It's the skin. They don't see
But
suffer in your skin. That's why, and they know you've just come back. You know.
one man, I thought the gas price would go low because of the Dangote oil plant. I saw
Why,
the
why
gas
would
price.
it why would it go low when there's oil crisis globally?
Yeah, but Dangote have an oil plant. I thought that would help the situation.
Yes, but why would it go low? The price of crude, the raw material, the price of it has gone up.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Is there anything else? What's the sense of the next election from what you're gathering in Lagos, Isaac? Are people talking about the politics? Are they wanting Tinubu out? What are they saying? What's your general feel of the political landscape?
The truth about that, from what I feel from the atmosphere, there is nothing going on. Just like sometimes days now, whenever I listen to your broadcast, the way you put it, that there's nothing going on in the news. There is no opposition. There is no option apart from the person we have in power right now, that is Tinubu. I don't think there's any noise going around him. I think the whole people they've accepted, that we already have a government, and that government is what we have. That's all.
What about food? There was a time that the narrative was nothing other than the price of food, the price of food. What are
But a big
people?
power.
Yeah, is there still a big power sentiment? Are you still feeling that people are struggling to feed?
No. In the general market, people just do their buying and selling. I don't think anybody is complaining about food price at the moment, because you see everything what goes around the way they say it. So most people in Nigeria, they are all merchants. They sell and sell. Even people in the office, they say have one thing, they sell and sell. So those selling high, buying high. So I think all things are equal. Yeah.
What about people coming to you for assistance? Are you surprised or shocked by the amount of people begging
Yeah,
you
one
for
man,
money?
the people coming.
Begging for money. Yeah.
Yeah, one man, that of people coming for assistance, begging. That I don't give that opportunity. Instead, I'm the one going out giving. I've been giving. Even the people around me, they are saying, "Come, it's too much. What are you doing?" Like I'm crazy. Like I just see somebody, I don't know what to do. I just have to put my hand in my bag and say, "Pam, pam, 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 pam." I think people around me, they're already complaining that, "Come, that's not how we do it here." So they don't need to even come to me. I just move around here and there. Sometimes I just load my bag and then just, okay, which direction will I go? I just go. I just see you, maybe an old woman selling mat. I just price. How much is the whole of this mat? You say each one is 2005. Okay, how many do you have there? Say 10. How much is the 10? He tells me the amount. I pretend I want to buy it. Give her the amount of the 10. She will say, you want to buy all? I say, yes. Give her the amount, and then I say, okay, you go and sell your mat. You have this for the day. That's all. I just go out, give. That's all.
Yeah, well done for doing that, by the way. I don't mind people actually investing in people that have enterprise already, and that's what you're doing. So somebody that is making an effort, then you are encouraging them.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. When I see
Yes,
somebody maybe selling just a thing that I look at, okay, after selling all these things, it's going to be like 8,000 naira at the end. So giving such a person 15,000 naira, I think that will be, it will, like, save the day. That's it.
yes, well done. And do you feel hope? Is there any hope? Do you feel a sense of hope in the people? Do you think they are looking to the future hopefully, or do you think they're just resigned to their lives?
Not now. They are reserved to their lives. I don't see any hope through them. I don't think they see hope. They are just like, let's be in it. We're already in it. That's all. They are nothing. Like I said, from my own perspective, from my own view, Nigeria, I thought maybe, I don't think Nigeria will ever change. It's going to be like, and secondly, now I begin to see the hypocrisy in some people that are saying that one man can just come and repair Nigeria, and they are saying that person is even Obi. The best man in this world, or let's say the best some person who can administratively handle a country, the best in the world, if you go and look for that person, put that person in Nigeria, that person cannot. That's the truth. Because the people are so difficult. The system is so difficult. The people are Nigerians are the most difficult entity to No. Everywhere is corruption. The security at the gate of the bank, security at everywhere. You go in, what they want is Oga, welcome, Oga, and you already know what they're after. And the way they will just, the posture, the body language, know already. They want and want and want, and I begin to look at it. Okay, I don't think it's their fault. It's the country, whether they want to call it hardship or but one might think these people actually a lot of them are living life. A lot of them are also finding it difficult. But the thing is, Nigeria, nobody should come and say somebody can suffer in Nigeria. The truth is that once you know your way in Nigeria, you won't suffer. That's the truth. Because there are a lot of opportunities. There are things you can't do where where one man lives, where people like rational mind lives, where people like there are things you can't do there that here you can do them. The government just give you the liberty to do whatever you want to do. So now it now depends on you as an individual, as a Nigerian, how you now make use of the environment. Making good use of the environment, you are not going to suffer in Nigeria. So people should stop saying there is suffering in Nigeria. There's no suffer. There's no suffer in Nigeria because the opportunity is there everywhere in Nigeria. If you know what to do, you do it. You are not going to suffer.
Are you conceding to the Nnamdi Kanu narrative that Nigeria is a zoological republic? Is Nigeria a zoo?
Yes, Nigeria is a zoo. Capital, yes.
Now, wow.
Before I came now, if somebody comes to tell me Nigeria is a zoo, I'll feel offended. But right now, if you come to tell me Nigeria is a zoo, I'll pardon you. That is the truth.
Yeah, and is there any excitement about the upcoming elections? Is there anything? What is agitating? Is it just survival that the people
Yeah,
are
one
looking
man.
at?
What I think about the election.
Yes.
I don't know how possible it is. Obi or whatever, Atiku, Amechi. I think they should just go to, I don't know, to the parliament and then sign a paper so that budget they want to use for the election, they can use it for some other thing. There's nothing like, I don't think there's going to be anything like election in Nigeria because the wave is not there at all. There is not going to be election.
You're not feeling the presence of the opposition.
No, I think they should just save the money. They should just tell INEC this year, this 2027, no budget, no election. They should just do something. Maybe the House of Assembly just do something and pass it into urgent law to save that money. That's all. I mean the presidential election. They can do other election like gubernatorial election, House of whatever, but this presidential election, they should just abandon that. No need. It's what we call tonteria where I came from. That's tonteria.
Do you feel the sense that Lagos is overcrowded? Do you have that sense that are you overwhelmed just by the busyness and the volume of people in Lagos? Is it overcrowded?
Yeah, I think I heard you, Wama. It's a bit breaking, but I think I heard you. Now, if there's any other word that is you can use that is more than overcrowded, I would prefer to use it because I can't find any word because overcrowded is another statement. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can probably hear you better than you can hear me. But that's the thing about Lagos. I don't think I could live in Lagos. Maybe I can live in Ibadan or maybe Ondo.
Yeah, let me put it again. Overcrowded is an understatement. If there's any other word that we can use to improve on overcrowded, I think it's better we look for that word. Because when you say overcrowded, you are just beneath the statement. That's it.
You
Now,
said
wow. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, you said overcrowded. So where most of the people coming from? What state are they coming from? They're making overcrowded. They come from the north, the east.
They don't come from the north now. They are Igbo people now.
No, I'm just saying. You said overcrowded. I'm just curious. I just want to know.
Actually, you see different types of faces. If I say a Yoruba man, I will know a Yoruba man. If I say an Igbo man, I will know an Igbo man. If I say an Hausa man, I will also know. You see different kinds of faces. Like, I think it's too much from different places, from east, west, north, and south. It's really pushing hard, And I don't think the government is even doing anything about it to see how they can decongest the state. I think they should do something fast. Otherwise, in the near future, ah, it's going to be terrible.
Yes, I've always thought that they should expand Lagos. I've always thought that Lagos is too narrow. If you go to those places like Badagry Epe, it's virtually empty, but they all concentrate in the Surulere, Mushin, Lekki. So it's like they form a circle within the Lagos space and everybody gravitates there. They're still sufficient enough to push Lagos wider, but they're not widening it enough. You said you were using public transport. How viable is that? When you talk about public transport, are you saying you are using Uber? Is it Uber that you are using?
No, one man, no. Because like I said before, I'm not a Lagos boy. I don't know Lagos as such. So my friend, who happened to be here before me, came for his father's burial. So that is the luck I had. When I came in, he's here. So he told me driving out, that is out of the question. If we have to, because he needed to make moves with me, he needed to take me around to be able to do things I actually needed to do here. So he told me the only one we can use Uber in some aspect and not to not to spend much. We can also take the other option by jumping from one bus to another, jump to bike, another. That's all we have been, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
even told him I prefer that because I really want to see. I want to be among. I want to feel among.
What's that bus experience like? Is it reliable? Is it safe? I mean, are people trying to pick your pocket? What's the experience like? A bus ride in Lagos?
Yeah, I don't think there is that notion you just raised. I don't think there's such here in Lagos. Areas I've been to, like pickpockets. I believe the people are so united that possibly they might be doing it before. Possibly they must have dealt with a lot of people and then scaring people away from such activities. I don't see like people saying you have to be conscious of your phone, of your bag, and all that. I think possibly it was happening before and then people took drastic actions. So I don't think there are these because when you go to some crowded areas, you see people in their boxes leaving their money. These POS people, they call them POS. Doing some registration for people and a lot of things. My greatest surprise is that even up to the NIN, you see somebody with just one umbrella, under one umbrella, sitting in one corner, shouting, "Come and do your NIN." A national identity card of a country. Somebody with one umbrella, having one chair there, shouting, "Come and do your NIN." I asked my friend, "Is that the national identity of the country?" Say, and this lady here, looking so tattered, with this umbrella, "Come and do it." Shouldn't there be a very good office like other countries you go, like I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I do. I do.
The country is so disorganized that you'll be badly what the way they do things. You like, why are they doing this thing like this? Can't they just?
Do they still have those yellow Danfo buses on, or have they chased them away? The yellow. Do
They
you
are
remember
they are
the
all there. They
yellow
are,
Danfo?
they are all there. We jump into them. There are a lot of when you jump into them, even their doors. You know, you pull the door backward. When people sit inside, they don't even lock their doors. And I imagine, what if somebody fall off?
Can you imagine trying that in London? You will end up in you will end up in prison. They will lock you up for life. They will say you are attempted murder or something. Eh? Now,
And
wow.
one stupid thing I also found out, it was one, we went to one area because they were directing me from one branch to the other, that is the GT Bank, until they also directed me to, because I had an issue with them. They also directed me to their headquarters. So that area where they have their headquarters, the day we went there, we couldn't go there with a bike. But when we asked, they said, okay, there are special people that will take us on a bike to that area. That area is not is bound from bikes. Do you know the people that take you there that own the bike to take you to those areas? The first men. You see that you are a soldier or a policeman driving you on a bike, you pay him.
Now, wow.
Yeah,
Now, wow.
that is how serious it is.
In uniform?
There was one with a lot, about 2 3 I saw wearing their green khaki, and the other one they wear black like a polo. You will see they will write Mopo in their behind, Mopo police, on the bike with his passenger, and you
Are
come
you
down, you pay.
are you having fun though? Are you enjoying your visit home?
You say what?
I said, are you having fun though? Are you enjoying your visit home?
Yes, yes. I'm enjoying it. It's been long I saw this kind of things, you know. So now I don't like.
Have you been to Mama Put to go and eat some cholera food? You've not been to Lagos until you go to Mama Put to go and eat some cholera food. Have you eaten some of those
Uh,
cholera?
one man, do you know one thing about me? You know, my immune system is so strong. Right from time, the only time I can say I went to the hospital, maybe when I was a baby, maybe my mother took me there. I can't remember any other time. I have this immune system that is so strong. You
All
go,
right. So you're doing Asaba tomorrow.
yes, I have a 2 o'clock flight to about
You're not
an
going by
hour flight.
you're not going by road.
No. Nah,
Look at this guy. You value your
I
life.
can't risk that. I can't risk that.
Now,
No.
wow.
Yeah,
How
I'm
much is
going to
the
ask you,
fare
why
if
a
you?
lot of people always scared to go by road to the east. I don't know why. I know a lot of people don't want to go by road. Why is that?
It's because
The
of
one
the
I
unknown government now. Your
Yeah, the
people.
one I just booked now is 97.
God, is that return?
Just one way, 97. Because I will take another one when I finish what I'm doing in Asaba. I will take another one from Zitonisha to Benin. So when my return, which is going to be April, I'll take Benin to Lagos or Traverse.
Now, wow. All right, Charles. Did you have any question for Isaac?
Isaac, you say you're going to Anisha, is that right?
You say what?
You just say you're going to Anisha. Is that what you just said?
Um, when I get to Asaba, I'm going to ask for a flight from the east to Benin. I don't know which of the states will connect me from there to Benin. I think it's Asaba or I think they said they have about 2 airports there.
You should cross the new Niger Bridge to see how is it, the new bridge.
The new bridge.
Yes.
I think I'm going to fly over the bridge, or I'm not going to see any bridge. To be frank, I don't think I will see the bridge. Yeah.
Look at this Ajebota boy. He wants to. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. 90,000 is cheaper than 90 million now. If they pick you up on the road, they'll start sending your family. Go and bring 90 million. Look at that. This is the Nigeria we now have. You have to factor in bandits as you interact with the country, especially you coming from abroad.
Yeah, definitely.
When are you due back? When are you leaving Nigeria? Oh, okay. Actually, don't tell us because that's a safety issue, isn't it? So
Yeah.
so so, so yes. I mean, enjoy your stay. But try and let me show people something. Actually, this is Isaac having drinks with Ekene. See how we dey run our see the kind business so me na 2 office like this. I get why they sell I get why they sell all this one. So that was Isaac taking a Kenne out. The boys having fun in Lagos. So it's always good. Anybody that goes to Lagos must make sure they see Kenne. If you say you went to Lagos and you did not say a Kenne, then we won't believe you. So that's the measure that we're using right there. So thank you, Isaac. I think I may well wrap it up just here. I just wanted to do a little session on Segun Showunmi, and I think we've got sufficient enough from him to understand what he's saying. So do you want to give us parting words, Isaac, and then you, Charles, and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah, thank you very much, one man. I will update you. I will do some comparisons in these three regions: the East, the Edo, and the Lagos. At my final talk with you guys. I'll try and gather a lot of information around.
All right, brilliant, excellent. Did you have anything to say, Charles, before we leave? Charlie boy. Charlie boy. All right. So thank you, everyone. We'll have another session later on in the evening. So that's Segun Showunmi right there, reading the riot act to the little obedient boy, but I don't think he actually gets what anything that Segun Showunmi was saying. So and that was Isaac feeding back his experience so far in Nigeria. He's giving us the Lagos experience, so he'll go into the interland and then give us a comparison in later sessions. So we'll be out later on in the evening, but for now, thank you, everyone. See you later.